we will be doing quadratic equation and we'll be finding the minimum value or maximum value with the quadratic equation using the completing the square method. So on this board here right now, we'll be introducing this particular technique, which is using completing the square in order to find to expand and then simplify. Then from there we can find out what are the minimum or the maximum value. So what we have here is fx equals to x squared minus 14x plus 52. So from after this line, right, we have to introduce the completing the square technique. So from here, right, what you can see is you copy the first two terms from the previous equation, that is x to the power of 2 minus 14x. So after here, right, you introduce completing the square, that is plus 14 divided by 2. So where do you get the 14? You get the 14 from this 14x. So 14 divided by 2 to the power of 2. Then the next term to introduce is minus the subtraction operation. That is, you minus 14 divided by 2 to the power of 2. Then you copy, bring down the last element from the previous equation down. That is plus 52. So this component here is the completing the square method, which you'll be using to simplify this particular equation. So what we have here is we take away for the next equation, we take away minus 14x. Then we bring these two terms, the first and the third term together. So what we have is x minus 7 bracket to the power of 2. So how do we get this 7? This 7 is basically plus 14 divided by 2 to the power of 2. Why? Because 14 divided by 2 is 7. So x minus 7 to the power of 2. How do we get this plus 3? Okay, so if you look at the second last element right here, you have minus 14 divided by 2 to the power of 2. So what we do here is 14 divided by 2 is equals to 7. 7 to the power of 2 is 7 multiplied by 7 equals to 49. So you have minus 49 plus 52. So what you have here is the resultant is plus 3. So you re-express everything as x minus 7 to the power of 2 plus 3. So what we have here, we break it down to analyze, all right? So let's analyze the first element. So we have x minus 7 to the power of 2. So because of this power of 2, right, no matter whether this operation here is a subtraction or addition, it will always be a positive number. It will always be a positive integral, right? So therefore, you write bracket x minus 7 to the power of 2 will always be bigger than or equals to 0. Okay, so now let's look at the entire equation. So now we have x minus 7 to the power of 2 plus 3, and it will always be greater than or equals to 3. Why? Because if this term happens to be, this term can be greater than or equals to 0. So if it equals to 0, it means that this whole term becomes nullified. Therefore, it will always be greater than or equals to 2. So that is, therefore, so for all the real values of x, it will always be, the minimum will always be 3 for all the real value of x. So therefore, fx has a minimum value of 3. Now, the minimum value occurs when x minus 7 equals to 0. All right. So therefore, you try to find out what is x. Then x is equals to x minus 7 equals 0. Therefore, shifting the minus 7 over, you get x equals to 7. Therefore, the minimum value occurs when x is equals to 7.
Tuition Near Me, your #1 portal for everything that is related to education. See you at Tuition Near Me.